The crimson sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the dense emerald jungle. Ed, a young pilot with eyes the color of the summer sky, gripped the controls of his sleek red jet. His heart hammered against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the roar of the engine. June, his best friend, was lost somewhere in this vast, unforgiving wilderness. He'd received a faint, crackly message on his emergency frequency, a desperate plea for help before the signal cut out. He'd spent the last 3 days scouring satellite images, poring over maps, his fingers tracing the labyrinthine rivers and treacherous mountain ranges. Now, fueled by adrenaline and a fierce loyalty, he was flying blind, trusting his instincts in the fading light. The jungle canopy was a thick green blanket below, punctuated only by the occasional glint of a river or the jagged peak of a distant mountain. He flew lower, the trees rushing past like blurred green streaks, scanning the ground with hawk-like intensity. His fuel gauge was dangerously low. The sun was almost completely gone, the sky transitioning from fiery orange to a deep, velvety purple. He knew he had to find June soon. He spotted a small clearing, a patch of sunlight breaking through the dense canopy. It was a sliver of hope in the encroaching darkness. He carefully maneuvered his jet, bringing it down to a gentle landing in the clearing. He jumped out, the cool night air hitting him like a wave. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and exotic flowers. He called out June's name, his voice a strained whisper in the vast stillness. He heard a faint rustling in the undergrowth, a sound that sent a jolt of hope through him. He pushed aside thick vines and leaves, his heart pounding in his chest. There, huddled beneath the protective branches of a giant tree, was June. She looked pale and exhausted, her clothes torn and mud-caked, but she was alive. Relief washed over Ed, so intense it almost brought him to his knees. He rushed to her side, engulfing her in a hug. She clung to him, tears streaming down her face. They spent the night huddled together, sharing what little food and water Ed had managed to bring. The jungle sounds, the croaks of frogs, the chirping of crickets, the rustle of unseen creatures, were a constant reminder of their precarious situation. But as the first rays of dawn painted the sky with hues of pink and gold, a sense of calm settled over them. He'd found her. With the rising sun, Ed radioed for help. He knew rescue was on its way. He looked at June, her eyes filled with gratitude and relief. They were both alive, and together. As they waited for the rescue helicopter, Ed knew this was a story they would tell again and again. A story of friendship, courage, a boy's unwavering loyalty. Jet flying across the jungle to save a friend,